Let us start with the man whose story sets the template for every wilderness that follows. Moses. On paper, Moses had everything: royal household, world-class education, access to the most powerful empire on earth, and he was right about the problem. Israel was enslaved and someone needed to act. He even had the calling. Acts 7:25 tells us Moses assumed his fellow Israelites understood that God was using him to rescue them. He knew. He felt it clearly. So he acted on it. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. He looked around, and he struck the Egyptian dead. This is the moment that defines everything that follows. Moses was gifted, genuinely, supernaturally gifted, but he was not ready. The method was his own. The timing was his own. The strength behind it was his own. He had the right mission and the wrong source. God did not correct him. He removed him. By the next morning, the crime was exposed. Pharaoh wanted him dead. And Moses, the prince of Egypt, fled into the wilderness of Midian, sat down alone by a well, met a family, married one of their daughters, and spent the next 40 years watching sheep on the far side of the desert. 40 years. Moses was 40 when he fled Egypt. He was 80 when God spoke through the burning bush. Half his life in the wilderness, in silence. No miracles, no visions, no divine appointments anyone could see. Just the desert, the sheep, and a God who had gone completely quiet. So what was God doing in those 40 years? He was doing the one thing success could never do. He was removing everything Moses was trusting instead of him. What Moses brought into Midian was everything the world had given him: prestige, strategy, a self that still believed it was the solution. What Moses needed before God could use him was the opposite: a soul emptied of itself, hollowed out enough to carry something that would not crack under the weight of what was coming. The wilderness stripped away the Egyptian and left behind a shepherd. And here's the detail that changes how you read everything else. When Moses finally stands before Pharaoh, he is not impressive. He is slow of tongue, uncertain. He needs his brother to speak for him. He looks like a man the wilderness diminished, but that is exactly who God needed. The rescue of Israel was never going to be a monument to Moses. It was going to be a monument to God, and God needed a vessel empty enough to carry that without claiming it. Exodus 3:1 says the burning bush appeared while Moses was on the far side of the desert. That is not just a geographical detail. It is spiritual. The farthest point from everything he had been. And it is exactly there, at the edge of obscurity, that God spoke. The burning bush does not come before the wilderness. It only comes after. God was not waiting for Moses to become more impressive. He was waiting for Moses to stop being impressed with himself.